And all other cases are under Hung jurisdiction. That's the end of the questions.
政府法案
Government bills. The Council now continues with the second reading debate on the Inland Revenue Amendment Profits Tax Assessment for Insurance-Related Business Bill 2019. Mr. Wu Chi-Wan, Chen Chi-chun, quorum bell is sounded at Mr. Chen Chi-chun's request.
法定人數已夠。
We now have a quorum. Please return to your seat. Wu Chi Wai, Mr. Wu Chi Wai. We are dealing with the Inland Revenue Amendment, Profits Tax Concessions for Insurance-Related Business Bill 2019. The objective of the bill is to develop Hong Kong's insurance business. It proposes to provide a 50% profits tax reduction for certain insurance businesses. And after the implementation of the bill, direct insurers, reinsurance business, and certain general businesses will all receive the tax rate reduction. So the objective is very simple: to promote Hong Kong as an insurance hub. Now, the Hong Kong insurance industry faces a lot of competition from Singapore and other neighboring cities. That has a major impact on our business. And a very important part is the reinsurance business. Now, Mr. Chen Chi-si, the EXCO member, he observed, now being a member of the industry, he observed that in the past few years, we have seen a lot of reinsurance business being taken away by Singapore. So some large reinsurance companies moved to Singapore, and they took away some of our talents as well as our business. Now we want to change the direction of Hong Kong insurance business from long-term insurance such as life to other types of businesses. And in that process, we face a lot of competition from elsewhere. So this general insurance and reinsurance business relies on a large amount of premium so that it percolates down the chain of business. Now, ordinary sales personnel, insurance sales personnel, are very motivated. But when it comes to general insurance business, it has not been very fruitful for them. So that has an impression on the general public. So if you purchase insurance at the bank, they would ask whether you are interested in getting life insurance. So this may not have a direct relationship to the bill, but when the government wishes to reduce the profits tax rate to develop Hong Kong insurance business, maybe the crux of the problem has not been addressed. So what is the direction of our future insurance business? Of course, we have 1.4 billion population in the mainland. That's a very large insurance market. But there's a national policy which keeps a tight eye on that market. I don't know whether we can develop our business in reinsurance in the mainland in competition with the operators there, or maybe due to one country, two systems, many mainlanders choose to come to Hong Kong to purchase life insurance or so-called long-term insurance cover so that the Hong Kong insurance industry benefits. Now, these are structural problems. can we resolve them with these interest rate, profits tax rate concessions? The document hasn't really addressed that. Now, even the ex-school member, Mr. Chen, said that he sees Hong Kong insurance business relying mainly on life insurance, and the growth has been mainly from mainland visitors. And it's very clear that this is not sustainable. So he said the government has to move in three directions. Firstly, to increase the tax concessions for the industry. This is what this document does. And then we have to develop insurance technology to get more talents. And then we have to inform the public, to educate the public, that insurance doesn't just mean having more salespeople to joining the industry. He also made a very interesting final remark. He said, ultimately, we have to leverage on the opportunities offered by the Greater Bay Area. So this comes back to the problem: which types of business makes the most money? This will affect the change in the nature of the business. So I agree with Mr. Bernard Chen. Ultimately, it seems that we have to move to the mainland, towards the mainland market. How to make adjustments so that we can have a broad scope of business, so it's not. So it should go to reinsurance and so on. Now, why is Singapore so competent? Because it has an important strategy apart from profits tax concessions. It has some measures to facilitate the insurance companies in setting up their headquarters and extending their roots in Singapore. Now, to my understanding, the government doesn't have any measure to provide support to major companies, insurance companies, setting up in Hong Kong. And we talked about this earlier. Some companies want to set up regional headquarters in Hong Kong, but if they want to purchase some property, they have to pay very high stamp duty. Now, this would be maybe much more substantial than the tax rate concessions they get here. So we must not just rely on tax concessions, but also on other strategic and targeted initiatives, so that Hong Kong's insurance business is not narrowly limited to mainly life insurance. Now, if we compare the year 2018 to 2010, it's 160 billion in premium, and then it's now recently it's $140 billion. So it's 3 times as much. So Mr. Chen Kim-pong maybe made a contribution there. Now, in 2018, we have a premium of $53.1 billion. So that's a very strong growth. Now, previously, it's 80% insurance premium, life insurance premium, 20% general insurance. But in 2018, the gap has grown larger. Previously, it maybe it's 8-2 or 7-3, and by 2018, it's 9 almost 9-1. So we can see that our insurance business has relied too narrowly on long-term insurance. And in the process, there's another issue. The relevant growth by 2019, the long-term business new premium is about $170 billion. But the new premium from mainland visitors, that's 43 billion. That's 25% of the total. That's of the total premium revenue, and it may be a larger percentage if we take into account our Hong Kong residents living on the mainland. Now, this shows that Hong Kong's insurance service is too inclined towards life insurance and not enough on servicing the commerce and industry sectors. Now, Mr. Bernard Chen referred to that as well. Now, these figures cause us more concern. Hong Kong's insurance sector relies heavily on the mainland. We doubt whether this is healthy. Of course, we cannot overlook the mainland market, but in the development process, if this one-sided reliance continues, then should we have a uniform tax concession so that the insurance sector can choose what business to engage in? Or should we have more targeted approach by categories in our directions? Otherwise, we may still end up with a focus on long-term insurance business and over-reliance on the mainland market. Now, is this good for Hong Kong's long-term development? The government should consider that. And let us not forget Donald Trump recently signed an administrative order or decree which signifies that our future economic structure will change. When we compete with neighboring markets and cities, can we maintain our edge? And if we cannot, if we go downhill, can we still maintain our position as an insurance hub in Asia? So I hope that the government in its response can provide us with more ideas. Now, so maybe the government should do more than just offering tax concessions. Now, I quoted some figures just now. Also, for the Financial Development Council, they said in 2018 that if Hong Kong was to develop as an insurance sector, we must turn a crisis into opportunity. That report on insurance said that in many of our insurance business segments, we lag behind other Asian cities. The Munich insurance company, for instance, withdrew from Hong Kong. Now we hope to rebuild our reinsurance industry in Hong Kong. Maybe we face a difficult path. Now, too narrow a business scope and reliance on the mainland cannot be sustained. If we rely on tax concessions, it may be far from enough. So the government, in considering the issue, must think carefully. Now we have over-relied too narrowly in our tourism industry. Please focus on the content of the bill and not on the insurance policy as a whole. Chen Kim-po.
Thank you. Madam Deputy, I speak to support the second reading debate of the bill. The bill seeks to give effect to the FS and CE's decision to enhance Hong Kong's competitiveness in the business sector and to make Hong Kong an insurance hub. And there will be a concessionary tax rate at only 1/2 of the current profits tax rate, and that will be 8.25%. I thank the administration for this proposal. This is going to benefit the insurance sector. It will bring business opportunities to many sectors. It can promote the development of marine reinsurance and business, and this will bring tremendous income for Hong Kong. It can provide more quality jobs for young people. So this is really a win-win situation. Compared to London, New York, and Singapore, Hong Kong is an insurance sector. However, recently we're more focused on developing local businesses, and we have stood still in terms of international business. And other competitors have proposed many new measures. Take Singapore as an example. They provide a business-friendly environment, and they provide as low as 8% in tax concession for insurance, and 10% for marine business. So even if we cut our tax rate by half, we're still higher than what Singapore charges. Now, to promote further development of the industry, we should look at the GBA area, and we should develop international business. Now, we have the mainland is our hinterland, and so we have a lot of potential in developing a captive insurance business and reinsurance business of professional insurers. So we hope that this bill, together with two insurance-related bills, can benefit the industry. I hope all three bills can be passed smoothly today so that the industry can benefit from them. To develop insurance business, we need people who are well versed in marine insurance and specialty risks such as catastrophe, so on and so forth. In the past, we were not that eager for such professionals, but because we want to go international, we need expertise, we need talents. And the administration has changed its stance. Now, here it is said that insurers with reinsurance business can also benefit, and also brokerage companies, insurance brokerage companies can also benefit. That will encourage international insurance brokerage companies to come to set up operations in Hong Kong. However, we should also train our own talent. I have asked the administration to set up an insurance college a number of times so that we can train our own talents. Understand that a lot of resources is needed in starting an insurance college, but it will certainly be value for money. Many university graduates cannot find qualified jobs, quality jobs, and we have a great demand for expertise and talents in the insurance sector, and they are much sought after in all parts of the world. And so we should set up such a college to provide more opportunities for our young people, and then we can develop business into GBA and also the international market. A few days ago, members asked how come life insurance and health risks insurance are not covered to help the sector to develop. Of course, for the sector, we welcome more tax concessions. We want the government to help the industry to tackle operational difficulties. Many self-employed persons are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and mainland policyholders cannot come to Hong Kong, and the sector is hard hit. And the second round of epidemic fund is of little help to them. We want the health code system to be in place ASAP. Unfortunately, it is not yet established. I urge the administration to set up as soon as possible to help the self-employed of the industry. Now, this bill will enhance the internationalization of our business, and there should be more measures to support the development of the industry. I urge members to support the bill. Thank you.
Sri Chen, President. This is the second reading of the Inland Revenue Amendment Property Tax Concessions for Insurance-Related Business Bill 2019. When it comes to tax concession, if it will benefit universally the whole of Hong Kong, then I would find myself in support. If we're benefiting certain sectors, I think we have to scrutinize this carefully. We did have the bill regarding the airline leasing concession. I'd like to adopt this principle. First, should we offer tax concession for the insurance sector? And as a result of the concession, will we be able to benefit the policyholders? And third, one of the most important reasons for the bill is to strengthen our position as an insurance hub. I heard from Mr. Chen Kin-po, the representative from the insurance sector, that this will lure the international companies to Hong Kong and also to lure the talents to gravitate to Hong Kong. Will we be able to achieve this result? I've read the brief. The government says that faced with the international competition, other hubs are offering concessions and other measures to enhance the competitive edge. And therefore, after consulting the sector and having regard to the international taxation requirement, we decided to amend the legislation to offer 50% of tax concession, i.e. 8.25%. Like the reinsurance business of the general reinsurance business of direct insurers, general insurance of business of direct insurers, and insurance brokerage business. This will make us comparable to Singapore. They are offering 8% for the specialty insurance and also 10% tax concession for marine insurance. And this policy was put forward in November 2019. I think we have to make a distinction that this concession is not a one-off tax concession in the light of the pandemic. This is not a time-limited tax concession in the budget, and this is going to be a standing arrangement kind of concession. If we roll out tax concession measures, should we offer concession to the insurance industry now? At the present moment, I don't think the insurance sector is the hardest hit. If anything, the sector has a lot of gains. We have so many white elephant projects that benefited the insurance sector in the way of reinsurance. With the NSL being enacted, the National Security Law, I'm sure that the government is going to launch billions and billions dollars of projects. If we disrupt these projects, then we'll be labeled as being subversive, and their insurance companies will stand to benefit to the tune of billions of dollars. Hong Kong people will continue to take out insurance, and with NSL in place, the mainland people will be able to transfer their assets through insurance, and the insurance sector will stand to benefit an awful lot. Given the NSL, I am concerned that some overseas insurers may be deterred. They may scale back their presence in Hong Kong. Local or China based companies may increase their market share, and they will earn a lot more. Historically, whatever storm Hong Kong faced, hardly ever did we hear any insurance companies going bust. Even if we have a bad situation, the insurance companies would still be raking in. The next bill, the MPF bill, is another piece of fertile ground for profits. Mr. Chen Kin-po said that there are 5 areas that are carved out. And now for the 50% of accessible profits, they do not apply to 5 areas: health risk, mortgage guarantee risk, motor vehicle damage risk, employees' compensation liability, and also owners' corporation third-party liability. These are carved out of the bill. I don't understand from reading the government paper why these 5 have to be taken out. Shouldn't these be the kind of insurance that Hong Kong people are most exposed to? If we can offer concessions, will benefit be passed on to the consumers? Coming back to this concession, given the economic downturn, for the government to offer tax concession to the insurance sector, will the insurance companies be charging less of the policyholders? I can't see this happening myself. The gains in these different areas of business will not be passed on to the consumers. Also, I think I have to have some discussion of the current situation. I'm wondering whether by merely offering some concession to the insurance sector, we will be able to achieve the purpose of having Hong Kong as the insurance hub. The idea of tax concession is to lure more insurers to set up their presence in Hong Kong. But from the examples cited by the government, like the competitors, Singapore, New York, Switzerland, Bermuda, London, and so on, they have a consistently stable judicial system, and the insurance companies will have a stable environment to operate in. But if you look at Hong Kong, prior to the NSL, I would think that Hong Kong did enjoy these credentials, but these advantages will be going as a result of the enactment of the national security law. The Hong Kong government will have diminished authority, even if you place advertisements to plug Hong Kong, will people buy it? There are many companies that are decamping from Hong Kong. There are concrete examples. People are concerned that even if you publish something on the web, not to the liking of the Chinese government, if you utter these 4 or 8 characters, you're liable to be on the wrong side of the law. You may not actually be on the wrong side of the law, but you feel these minutes. Some countries have issued travel advisory because of this. By reducing the tax, are we able to make up for the political instability? Are we able to make up for the diminished rule of law? And the Western countries may be deterred, and they may stop and think. They will not, just because we slash the profits tax, it doesn't mean that they will be rushing to Hong Kong with their investment. Eastern time, the U.S., 5 p.m., 5 a.m. in Hong Kong. We all know that the U.S. President Trump, held a press conference at the White House to say that he has already signed the Hong Kong autonomy law and has also signed executive order to take away the privileges from Hong Kong. He said Hong Kong has been stripped of the freedoms. China is imposing the national security law under the executive order. Mr. Chen, will you come back to this bill? Indeed, I'm coming back to this bill, Chairman, President. I'm trying to illustrate my third point with the halving of the profits tax. Will Hong Kong continue to be the insurance hub? Will we be out-competing Singapore and get hold of business? I'd like to sort my thoughts out. I need to make a quorum call.
陳志全議員。
Mr. Ray Chen. A moment ago, I was talking about President Trump signing the Hong Kong autonomy law and the removal of privileges for Hong Kong. The President asked me to come back to this subject. Whether you're talking about political situation or economic situation, this Inland Revenue Amendment Profits Tax Concessions for Insurance-Related Business Bill is indeed intended to enhance Hong Kong's position as far as the financial insurance sector are concerned. Indeed, Hong Kong does enjoy competitiveness, but London, New York, Switzerland, Bermuda, Singapore, and Dubai, they are really very strong rivals. Given global competition, other hubs have rolled out measures to enhance their competitive edge. We perceive Singapore as very much as a competitor, and in Singapore they have introduced the tax concessions, and it has been recognized as one of the hubs in Asia for specialty insurance and marine insurance. In Singapore, the Marine Insurance Center in 2010, the profit is 3 times that of Hong Kong, to the tune of $7 billion. It is not until today that you start talking about offering tax concession to cancel out the advantages offered by Singapore, the 8% and 10% for the marine insurance and specialty insurance respectively. In the UK and Switzerland in 2020, they're going to be reducing the profits tax come 1st of April. In the UK, it will come down from 90% to 17%. In Switzerland, from the 1st of January 2020, they have dropped this from 17% to 14%. So you are trying to offer a tax relief of 50%, and you think that it's going to be okay, and you will improve the environment to make it conducive to the development of the insurance sector, and the Belt and Road Initiative will bring about the business opportunities. In the C.Y. Leung days, he kept talking about a Belt and Road Initiative constantly in his policy address. If you compare the policy address today and the policy address by C.Y. Leung, they're so different. If this offers good opportunity, they should be talking more about it. The CE and the FS in their policy address and the budget also mapped out this major direction. By offering tax relief, we can promote the specialty insurance and marine insurance, like underwriting, aviation, agriculture, catastrophe, political risk, war risk, and trade credit, and so on. If we merely chase numbers and try to compete with others, you can cut more. I talked about the political uncertainty, the legal uncertainty. However many percentages you cut the tax by, people may not be prepared to take Hong Kong as the first choice. Zhang Xiaoming said that he heard someone trying to emigrate to Singapore, but as soon as he heard about the NSL, he tore up the application form. That this 50% will enhance Hong Kong's competitiveness and outcompete Singapore. Let's cast our sight longer.
Any other member wish to speak? If not, Dr. Fernando Cheung. Now, I also like to speak on the Inland Revenue Amendment Profits Tax Concessions for Insurance-Related Business Bill 2019. Now, basically, this offers tax concessions. The government hopes that through tax concessions, it can enhance the competitiveness of our insurance industry. Of course, this is one of our financial services industries. In terms of scale, its value added is 3.7% of Hong Kong's GDP. So it's quite significant. And we have 161 authorized insurers, including 16 professional reinsurers. Gross premium a year, over $5,000 billion, and over 100,000 persons engaged in this industry. So it is an important industry. We hope that the industry can develop. Now, several members have described the situation, which I will not repeat. These concessions are mainly to reduce the profits tax rate by 50% for captive insurance companies and the reinsurance business of professional insurers. Now, the objective is to enhance the business environment for the insurance industry, and so that the industry will grasp the opportunities such as those offered by the Belt and Road Initiative. Now, this follows from the 2018 policy address and the 2019 to 20 budget, which have spoken about these initiatives. We're talking mainly about maritime insurance and specialty insurance such as agriculture, political risk, disasters, trade credit, agriculture, and so on. Now, when we're talking about reinsurance and maritime insurance now and other specialty risks, now can we enhance our competitiveness just by offering tax concessions? Mr. Chen Chi-chun said that Hong Kong's insurance industry has in fact receded a bit. In March 2017, Hong Kong's Financial Development Council released a report called Turning Crisis into Opportunity. Hong Kong as a center for Hong Kong's development is a hub for insurance, reinsurance, and maritime insurance. And it says that Hong Kong faces a number of challenges. It lags behind other Asian competitors in certain aspects. Reinsurance, maritime insurance, and captive insurance. Now, those are more serious problem areas. Now, we are trying to develop ourselves as a super connector. Now, the Munich Reinsurance Company and other international reinsurance companies withdrew from Hong Kong or reduced their scale of operation here. This shows that Hong Kong's reinsurance industry is going downhill. They felt that if unless the correct measures are taken, there will be more withdrawals within a short time. Now, this is worrying. Now, for the Belt and Road Initiative, it has encountered a number of setbacks. A number of countries, given the new political environment, seems to no longer go along with the Belt and Road Initiative, and some major infrastructural projects seems to be on the way out, and Mr. Wuchiwai and Mr. Members have talked about the risks posed by the national security law, and I will touch on that as well. The report said that after 1997, Singapore has gradually replaced Hong Kong as Asia's reinsurance hub. Whether you look at the number of insurance companies or the business volume for reinsurance and maritime insurance, you can see Singapore gradually becoming the Asian insurance hub, whereas Hong Kong shows signs of going downhill. Now, this has occurred, well, it started even before the anti-extradition bill movement and the national security law development. Now, the report pointed out that on 1st of January 2016, the risk directed business. Now, a lot of onshore insurance companies of the mainland returned to the mainland, and some reinsurance companies moved their operations to Singapore or Shanghai, and they create economies of scale. So that they enjoy a growing advantage. The report makes certain recommendations. One of them is not tax concession, but the framework. Now, under this arrangement, it's proposed that there should be an agreement with with China's insurance authority, so that Hong Kong as a special administrative region within that framework. Now, Hong Kong right now is an offshore territory. It should be given a special position in between onshore and offshore insurance, so that some of the preferential treatments that we enjoy from the mainland could help enhance our competitiveness. Now, this bill does not cover that aspect. And then on tax concessions, that's what we're doing to try to attract more foreign capital, and we also try to benefit from the mainland development. The report also quoted that in 2014, the Financial Development Council released a report on Hong Kong as an offshore renminbi reinsurance center. And it said that in 2014, $32.4 of premium went to Bermuda, UK, etc. And $9 billion could have come to Hong Kong, but it slipped away. Now, the report says that the new business can be twice as much. So it says that the mainland insurance business can, so we can benefit under that kind of framework, so that we can gain in relation to the mainland. And in March this year, the Mainland the Financial Development Council made a report.
Preferential half tax rate currently offered by the government， 即係講緊而家呢一個我哋呢個條例草案啦 ，and
Its relation to this bill.
DC on general insurance business, reinsurance business, as well as insurance and reinsurance brokerage business, can put Hong Kong in a competitive position compared to its regional counterparts, and is effective in attracting newcomers, including mainland Chinese players, to set up regional hubs in Hong Kong. 嗱，呢個就即係我哋講緊今次個條例，佢認為咧係有一個有利嘅因素。
So it's talking about this bill.
Businesses to move back to Hong Kong if they have already established their regional hubs elsewhere。即係話雖然係咁，但係並唔足。
That means even if we adopt these measures, it may not be enough for insurance companies that have already withdrawn from Hong Kong to return. And it's of the opinion that
in order to attract businesses back to Hong Kong, the government should also consider taking a more proactive approach to grant full exemption to the relevant businesses for a specific period of time. For example, tax holiday subject to a sunset clause. 嗱，呢個咧就真係我覺得都幾貪啦。佢直情係覺得而家呢一個減利得稅嗰個寬免。
So this is very ambitious. They think that the 50% reduction in profits tax would not be enough. Now, can we offer such tax concessions and attract the reinsurance and captive insurance business, etc.? And can we attract those companies back to Hong Kong? I'm very doubtful. Under the national security law and the new geopolitical situation, Hong Kong's political risk is very high. In the South China Sea, there is quite a lot of military movement. For instance, the PLA in July at Seashore Islands had a certain movements, and so in August as well, and Taiwan sent its military to Seashore, and the U.S. Navy also conducted certain movements in the South China Sea. And a scholar said that Hong Kong is no longer a paradise for foreign capital. The developments in the South China Sea will affect the business developments, and this is also in relation to insurance. Now, the geopolitical situation is such that the foreign enterprises are very concerned. Now, South China Sea is the main channel for Western goods to come to Asia. Now, if the area becomes unsafe, a huge volume of trade will be affected. And our maritime insurance will be affected. Now, I don't have time to come to the national security law. Later, if I have the opportunity, I will supplement, because I'm concerned that we are barking up the wrong tree. Any other member wishes to speak?
Point of order, President. A call for quorum, please. The quorum bell has rung for 15 minutes. Yet, in this chamber, we don't have a quorum. The meeting is now adjourned.